Hey guys, it's M, and I hate the pull plus 50 rule. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, M, what's the pull plus 50 rule? I sure am glad you asked, dear viewer. This rule refers to one of the more fun mechanics introduced when CNP came out. Bad base kits, or at least far from optimal base kits. For example, this is my team at the moment. Kinda quirky, I'm aware, but when you're a free-to-play player with luck as good as mine, this is what you're gonna have to do sometimes. And before someone goes, oh, your team sucks, you cannot even be that high. I stick around the 30 and 50 ranks of my server most times, so I think I do fairly average and even great considering what my team is. I'm sure you've heard my thoughts on Han in the last video. And as for Rima, I'm sure many of you are aware he's pretty out of season for the most part, considering that he's months old at this point. But together, these two do pretty well, but they both share a common weakness. Before CNP, they're both downright atrocious. Their base kits are so similarly flawed, I've heard people compare them time and time again. To summarize, base Rima's main problem is that he's normally quite squishy. His main benefit is when he gets hit 20 times, he enters a mode with 10 grit stacks and it allows him to ult twice. The main problem was, as you can imagine, no unit in this game hits soft enough for Rima to just eat 20 hits, so he'd usually implode before you get any value out of him. His CNP fixes his kit by making it so he starts off with 10 stacks, along with the fact that if he dies, he gets a free 20 stacks of transformation. He still wasn't necessarily the best or anything, but this made him an actual somewhat viable unit. This is similar to Han, which before his CNP, he functionally doesn't work unless the enemy team's hitting you with a rubber ducky. This sort of problem is seen in almost every unit in the game that releases nowadays. For any hope of breaking into the top 100 or maybe even the top 300, you're pretty much required to have unit CNP unlocked or else they barely work at all. The main problem with this is how much of a pain in the ass they made it to unlock CNP in the first place. I can give you another live example for this. As we've discussed, I have Rima on my team. Well, one day they reran Young Shu's banner and I pulled them as a 3-star unit. In all regards of tier list and everything else, Shu is better, so I should have ran him, but the problem is, since he's 3 stars, I can't unlock his CNP since you need a 5-star unit for that. Meaning even though I pulled him from a 16% chance pull, he's hot garbage to me because I was never even really able to run him because I never wanted to insert the insane amount of materials to make him viable. Now one of the reasons I call this the pull plus 50 rule, which is even then a sugar-coated inaccurate title. You have to pull the character as a start, which since most characters drop at 4 stars, unlike my little Shu here, let's say you pull the 4-star. To start the CNP process, you need a total of 150 character shards to start, since you need a 5-star to begin leveling CNP in the first place to begin with, which is already ridiculous in itself, since before the CNP update, 4 stars were pretty much the base and anything past that was just considered extra grinding leveling. But anyways, you get them to 5 stars and now you need to invest around 40 or so more all shards to unlock their buffed passive effect. So in summary, other than just pulling the character which already has a stupidly low drop chance to begin with, you now need to invest a pretty rare resource in itself solely all into one character till you can make that character viable. For reference, I pulled Han around 14 days ago using the video for reference and he just became viable yesterday, at least at the time of me releasing this video. It took 14 days of being completely unable to use this unit for him to even become an option. There isn't even really a way to make this system not horrible. You can't really buy all shards by themselves, so unless you want to spend $80 for 10 pulls for a chance to get a duplicate of the character, one day I'll end up talking about how ridiculous that is in itself, but today isn't that day. Or you spend $600 during a special chest reward mission. I'm not even going to start on how jacked that price is either. There isn't really a way to win in this system. It's not fun, it's just annoying. And in this video, I'm not even including the further CNP system that takes even more all gems, and I'm not willing to calculate all that, along with the fact that you need to scroll to max it out. What's the conclusion of this video? Sega's really greedy when it comes to this game. This is by far my most hated mechanic in this game. It makes it so even after the small amount of dopamine I get from pulling a unit, it immediately goes away because I can't use them half the time they're viable anyways. And God forbid they get replaced by a better unit that comes out while I'm trying to level them. If CNPs were based in the base kits, as they should be, it would make this game not feel like a race in quicksand, underwater, with anvils tied to your legs every time you pull the unit. I know Sega would never undo this change, but I felt like I needed to get it off my chest. What do you guys think about this whole system? As always, I'm glad to talk in the comments, and with all that out of the way, I've been M, and I am out.